Baseball, America's pastime and the sport Michael Jordan cheated on basketball with. The coronavirus pandemic shut down the Major League season before it could even start. But now, teams are ready to get underway, COVID style.
As Major League Baseball gets ready to resume play, it turns out they're going to be using crowd noise from a video game. The sounds will come from the game MLB The Show. The league is hoping that the crowd noises, combined with stadium announcers and all the walk-up music, that'll make it sound like the stadiums are actually full.
Yes, while it's still too dangerous to fill a baseball stadium with a real crowd, the MLB is at least going to fill it with the sounds of people watching baseball. And I think we actually have a clip of what that sounds like. Now, even though fan sounds will be piped into the stadiums, the actual fans will still be watching baseball at home. So for fans who want to recreate the stadium experience at home, there's a lot of things that you can do, to make you feel like you're actually at a game. First of all, make sure to watch the TV from really far away so you have no idea what's happening. Then, grab a beer from your fridge and rip up a $20 bill. And finally, cover your bathroom in another man's urine. Now that's baseball. I do like this idea though. In fact, I think we should apply this to other areas of our new coronavirus lives, Like a lot of us miss eating out at restaurants. So why not just pipe in some restaurant sounds while you're eating dinner at home?
Hi there. I just wanted to see if you're enjoying the food.
Well, actually, you just gave me the food, so I haven't actually tasted any of it yet.
Yeah, no problem. I'll come back in 10 seconds and ask you again while you're chewing.
Could you just come back, after I've eaten a bunch of it?
Okay, that's perfect. I'll come back at the most inconvenient moments, but then when you need the check, I'll totally disappear forever.
Sounds good.
In other news, we're slowly learning that coronavirus has also affected two things in America that are even more popular than baseball: Disney World and stuffing your face.
Forget munching on those Mickey pretzels while strolling through Disney World in Orlando. Eating or drinking while walking has been banned to ensure that people are wearing masks while moving around the park. Now, in order to eat or drink, people have to be stationary and 6 feet away from other guests. The only other time that guests are allowed to have their masks off is at special relaxation stations that are set up around the parks.
Okay, so basically what happened here was Disney World said that for safety, you need to wear a mask unless you're eating. And so everyone at the park was like, no problem, I'm just always eating. So Disney decided it had to close that loophole. And to me, that's some bullshit. I mean, they're taking away one of the main draws of Disney World, which is walking around eating junk food all day. I mean, that is as crucial to the Disney experience as meeting Mickey, or going on rides, or wishing you never had kids. Not to mention, if you're walking while eating, then you're distracted by everything else going on, If you have to sit while you eat, that gives you all the time to reflect on what you're actually eating. And that's a reality no one should have to face. Also, how is Disney gonna tell us about our food hygiene when the Little Mermaid is literally over here brushing her hair with a fork? I mean, the woman collects trash. Is nobody gonna talk about this? She's collecting trash. But still, this rule is happening, and we all have to get used to it. I just hope that at least they still let me take my smoothie on the roller coasters. But let's move on. Because while the United States is putting restrictions on people at theme parks and banning them from stadiums, Germany is now so far ahead with the coronavirus that they're actually throwing a giant concert just to see what happens.
In Germany, scientists are planning a mammoth COVID-19 experiment. They are inviting 4,000 music fans to a free concert. Attendees will then be fitted with tracking devices and equipped with fluorescent hand sanitizer to help researchers better understand how to stop the virus spreading inside indoor venues.
What a flex. Now this is how you shit on the whole world. Germany is having a concert with 4,000 people. Meanwhile, in America, you can't even do an open mic without the entire town coming down with the Rona. And I don't know which band is going to perform at this thing, but I hope they've chosen the Rolling Stones. Because if a lifetime of drugs can't kill those dudes, coronavirus doesn't stand a chance. And I'm not an expert, but surely there's a safer way to do this experiment, right? Like before you test it on 4,000 human beings, why not try like a concert full of rats? It's a lot safer, and it's adorable. I mean, look at him. He can't play a bass guitar. Rats don't have rhythm. We all know that. Let's move on now to the United States Congress, America's marble-covered nursing home. Of the 435 members of the House of Representatives, one of the most liberal is New York Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and one of the most conservative is Florida Republican Ted Yoho. So when those two bump into each other in the hall, it might be no surprise that things get ugly.
New York Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accuses a Florida lawmaker of accosting her on the steps of the U.S. Capitol.
Yoho first approached her and told her, quote, she was disgusting in referring to her positions over unemployment and crime. And she responded, calling him rude. And then as Yoho walked away from that conversation, he called her an effing B, actually using those words.
Moments ago on the House floor, Republican Congressman Ted Yoho apologized to Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
The offensive name-calling words attributed to me by the press were never spoken to my colleagues, and if they were construed that way, I apologize for their misunderstanding. I cannot apologize for my passion or for loving my God, my family, and my country.
Wow, that had to be one of the worst apologies I have heard in my life. In fact, that's the only apology I've ever heard where at the end I went, wait, did I just apologize to him? Because why is he saying, I can't apologize for loving my God? My man, loving God doesn't make you say those things. Right? Loving God doesn't make you profane. The Pope is never out there like, his love surrounds us all, you sons of bitches. So for a guy who talks a lot about personal responsibility, Ted Yoho is having a pretty hard time taking responsibility for his actions. In fact, if I may speak like a congressman, I think he's being a bitch about this whole situation. Well, that's our show for tonight. But before we go, I just wanted to remind you that America is facing a nationwide poll worker shortage. And because most poll workers are over 60, and coronavirus is still out there, they are understandably not showing up. But fewer poll workers means fewer polling stations are open, and it means longer lines that not everybody can afford to stay and wait in, especially in poorer communities and communities of color. Now the good news is, most poll working is paid. And in some states, you can be as young as 16 to get the job. So if you're interested and you have the time, this is your chance, man. Save your granny, protect democracy, and get paid at the same time. Sign up at the link below to learn more.